Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the NFT Talks podcast. I'm your host Sean, and today we have two founders. We have Garett and Ezin, and they're the founders of a platform called Cipher. And what that is, it's a hip hop platform. It creates hip hop collectibles. So if you're an artist and you like to freestyle, you get a chance to rap on these AI powered generated beats, and then you make them into NFTs, which other people can collect them. It's something I haven't seen before. It's great for the space. It's great for hip hop culture too. So make sure you stay tuned and listen for the gems, and let's help build this community. Welcome back to NFT Talks. Today, here with I've always got amazing guests, so I'm always going to say that. But today I'm here with Garett, Ezin, the founders of Cipher, Hip Hop Collectibles, something that I'm into, and I'm happy to see in the space about time, something hip hop related and in hip hop culture. Introduce yourself, guys, before we get into the actual project and what it's about. Just give a short introduction.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Garett founder and CEO of Cipher. Come from a marketing background, a business administration guy back in the day, and took a run at a startup a number of years ago and like crowdsourcing, and then got into crypto 2.5 years ago, specifically NFTs. I've gotten super stoked on this space and loved hip hop growing up, freestyling with my crew and stuff back in the day. So like this is definitely like this passion project that intersects perfectly with what I love doing. So yeah, we're basically pledging this NFT app together with this algorithmic beatmaker and stuff. It's rad. We'll tell you all about it. But yeah, Ezin, you want to give Ezin's lowdown too?
Yeah, man. Let's quick lowdown before your camera goes a bit all.
Yeah, I just wanted to hop on camera to say hey to everybody. I'm probably going to switch off to my avatar. I live a little rural, so Wi-Fi connection isn't always the strongest. Ezin in crypto. Most people just call me Ezin. I've been in the space for a few years now. Both, NFT, crypto in general, and then pretty heavily involved in like audio NFTs, music on the blockchain, bringing literature to the blockchain. Got my fingers in a lot of pies, but Cipher is like living the dream, and we're going to dive into it. Yeah, just very excited to be here, and we'll get deeper into it. I'm going to hop out of my live video so I don't go super robotic voice, but super nice to, sometimes connect the face to the voice for people. 100%. So I wanted to hop on camera for a sec there.
All right, thanks, Ezin. Yeah, man. So you guys are doing some amazing things. I know you've had a recent launch. I love the fact that you can combine the whole technology side into the beat making, and obviously with the graffiti side, which you're going to talk into more detail. I mean, I know we had a short conversation before, but one thing I remember, if you go back into hip hop, is remember like Zach, they talked about computer love. I think hip hop were ahead of their time. They were talking about computers from the early stage and technology. And obviously you guys are pushing ahead, using hip hop to obviously be the spearhead to move forward in technology.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super cool being able to leverage just some of the bleeding edge stuff with, using machine learning with the album art covers that get generated for each cipher. So we're basically just creating this like all-encompassed app to allow you to just flow and just stream, like just spit off the top of your head, bring some writtens, to this algorithmic beatmaker that you wrap over and then mint as this collectible hip hop NFT. But yeah, it has album art that's basically this AI trained on a bunch of graffiti that spits out new graffiti. And there's some like really rad ones coming out of the latest generation of that tech too. So it's a super cool touch that just kind of like ties into like the culture like of hip hop, graffiti, there's breakdancing and like all this stuff that just ties together to make like what is so cool and rich about that culture. And that's what we ultimately want, like Cipher, to kind of have like a touch on, a little bit. So
let's get down to into the deep down. As Cipher, your aim is to help the hip hop artists, help an artist first of all, and using technology and using these new technology NFTs to create music and make monetize off that music or freestyle or whatever you create. Is that the main aim?
That's the aim. Yeah, that you're really using NFTs to like repackage digital media is essentially what I see them doing. And in the context of music, it's like we're going from CDs to MP3s to NFTs. It's like a new way to like own music. And so we're trying to kind of streamline that ability to just get to market with like your voice and get heard in this new channel. And so, yeah, it's trying to monetize that flow, that skill that oftentimes just goes, you know, for pennies for streams, when, you know, you could kind of own that piece of that artist and sort of bet on that artist instead of just being a passive listener. So that's where it kind of can create like super fans potentially. And that's where I see NFTs finding their sweet spot, you know, within maybe smaller niches of people, but still finding their tribe. So yeah, and it's just kind of about breaking down the barriers, you know. Go ahead, Ezin.
Yeah, I was just going to add that, you know, one of the large goals, besides being able to have a deeper connection between, you know, the fan or the listener and the artist, be able to own music again. All these things are part of Cipher, being able to monetize that more efficiently, but also to break down the barriers that are existing both in, you know, the standard music and hip hop industry, but also in the blockchain, because to be able to come in and make NFTs, if you're not, you know, super familiar with it, you have to, you know, create your wallet, and there are sometimes fees involved, like gas, that you pay when you go and mint an item or to purchase. So what we've done is we've tried to eliminate barriers in both the crypto aspect and kind of the mainstream music aspect, where traditionally in hip hop, you've got to, you know, to really make it, you got to know somebody, or you got to have enough money to get into studios and whatnot. So what Cipher allows you to do is so easily be able to generate these automatic beats out the Flowbot 5000. You know, you generate up, you know, a handful of these, you find one that inspires you, you go to the next page, you just wrap your flow over it. Super easy. You go to the next page, and that's where the spray GAN comes in. What we were talking about, the graffiti, the bot that eats graffiti and spits out new graffiti. And it's really exciting to see that evolve, because we've been getting better iterations. So then not only does the artist not have to produce the beat, they also don't have to worry about the artwork. So, you know, we're creating a very cool visual for the NFT, the album cover, if you would. And then, so once you choose that, the final step is just putting the name of the track, how many editions, the price per edition, and your resale royalty rate. And so that is like, you know, a very low barrier entry into the hip hop, you know, collectible hip hop NFT space. Part of the reason we're able to do that is we've adopted kind of a similar style to OpenSea's lazy minting. So the onus of gas, while we're still on layer 1 ETH chain, is on the buyer. But there's some really interesting things we're doing, where the first purchase, the first person to go and purchase an NFT, say someone purchases my track, we call that breaking the artist when it's the first track purchase. And basically what you're doing is you're minting a master that goes to the artist, so they always have that. And then that first purchaser basically sends a master to the artist and then receives the first edition, where in the metadata you'd have that being the first edition. So it's pretty interesting. We also have, you know, closing the catalog, which is when you purchase the second to last edition, you retain that edition, and the very last edition goes into a Cipher vault, where we'll basically have, you know, all the minted tracks that come through Cipher. So kind of as a historical thing, maybe we can, you know, do competitions where things are, you know, you get rewards by participating. You know, basically just smashing down the barriers for, you know, making the music and getting onto the blockchain. We even have a little tutorial for setting up your MetaMask wallet. And we've, you know, kind of handheld and walked through artists that were totally new to the crypto space.
Okay, so that kind of explains the whole process and how it works and why you're doing it. I want to talk about it from an artist perspective, as a, say, if you're a rapper, or, I mean, is this the entry? Like I said, this is entry level? Because I'm thinking, okay, if I'm a rapper, potentially normally you might do a mixtape to try and get your name out there. Is this the point where they come to Cipher and mint some obviously songs and whatnot, mint some tracks, or is it later on down the line when you're more established artists, you'd come to Cipher?
I feel like it is a little bit more upstart grassroots guys that are like scrappier, trying to get their name out there. Like also like, even if they are somewhat established, like finding this different channel is kind of like an interesting way to test the waters. And we've looked really too at like, as we kind of expand the product, potentially having like a bring your own beats and like special drops that we kind of like hype up and stuff on the channel and do auctions on and stuff. So, I mean, eventually we see it like growing with our artists that way. And like right now it's like hoping to like find that like new way to kind of come up through Web3, which is just kind of totally untapped right now.
So does everyone rap on the same beat? because I know you said you got the AI, obviously, what's it called? Yeah, Flowbot, that it creates the beat. Does it create individual beats for each NFT, or can numerous rappers rap on one beat like a cipher?
We wanted to originally include meme mode, which would allow you to like basically like remix it and like, you know, make it your own, but we ended up like just keeping it simpler at the get-go. But that would have been really fun to implement on the first pass. But we really want to bring meme mode like that, so people can sort of like do their own take over it like that.
Yeah, that would be dope.
But right now it does spit out like pretty unique beats each go.
Mm-hmm.
And then that allows you to just each session you have 10 beats that you can rifle through, and just find one you like. And then like if you need to find more, you can just refresh the page and generates 10 more. But yeah, so that's just sort of the user flow of it. But we've gotten feedback too, like it'd be nice to be able to like save your work in process and stuff, because not everybody is like always right on in there. So it's like a skills game though right now. It's like like kind of like this one take thing it's kind of fun. People are kind of addicted to it. It's a lot of fun once you start using it.
And so just to make it clear, sorry for you jumping easy, just to make it clear, I can't rap on a beat and then somebody else can't join on that track and put their part to it. It's just one person per track, would you say?
It is currently just one person.
Okay,
track,
cool.
right?
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So
we're definitely, you know, we love feedback from the community, and we do have a lot of ideas that we're fleshing out, and some are in progress of being wired up and stuff. You know, the Bring Your Own Beats is gonna hopefully be dropping soon. So, you know, producers of beats would be able to bring in these beats, and then we kind of match make with rappers, or rappers could kind of audition a flow and put out their proposed smart split on the sales. And then also, you know, collaboration is so thick and rich in the hip hop culture that we want to be able to do more of like a back and forth where, you know, somebody could get a track, basically rap over it, but be able to send it to a buddy and have them rap a verse and kind of do like some kind of back and forth, or be able to even lay a second vocal track down. So like I could spit my bars and then I could do like, you know, some beatboxing or whatever it is. I could play an instrument in the background. I mean, you know, just get creative. So there's a lot more coming. You know, we did just go live with our beta. And so, you know, we're tweaking, we're taking, you know, a lot of community feedback, and we've got a lot more ideas for, you know, more mastering, the ability to, you know, bring someone else in on a track, like Garrett mentioned, the kind of meme remix mode, which would be really cool to bring in. But essentially, yeah, you're you know, generating these pretty unique beats, and maybe one might be similar to another, but in general you're going to get like your beat and rap over that. And you know, in the future, like we said, there might be some remixing modes and stuff like that, but yeah, for the most part, like you're getting, you know, it's generating fairly unique beats for each session when you go in, and you're going to grab that track and rap over it, and, you know, hopefully you spit some fire and people are collecting it. I was extremely surprised. You know, you had asked about what type of rappers. I think there will be a mix of people that have, and we've had this because we do events where we in the Discord, we drop beats from the bot, and then people are able to just flow over it. And we even have like prizes, you know, 0.1 ETH is to the top flow on our Sunday ciphers in our Discord. We do a Thursday cipher in the Token Smart Discord. We're going to be doing a cipher over in the Dot Gems Discord while they do a virtual graffiti battle. We'll be doing a virtual rap battle with them. So it's kind of like whole street art culture, hip hop infused metaverse events are starting to happen, which is kind of part of the dream. So yeah, I think, you know, maybe even we could get some more well-known artists that could come in with like a pseudonym and just have some fun and explore the NFT space, or people that had wanted to rap but hadn't had the opportunity to really enter. It seemed out of reach, myself included. I used to rap a lot with my homies, my friends back in the day. We'd jam, we'd rap. And, you know, as a teenager, I was like, man, it would be so amazing to actually be able to, you know, be a rapper. But that dream kind of got put on the shelf until, you know, Cipher rolled around, and on opening day I sold a few rap tracks. I was like, you know, dream come true right there, you know. And it was just a fun little rap, and it's, you know, not a lot of like, you know, mountains of ETH coming in, but it's really cool, very rewarding to know that people are enjoying, you know, the raps that I'm putting down, and so it's very exciting to have the marketplace live.
I really think it's interesting, man. Like the way the approach that you guys have taken, I think it solves so many barriers, like so many problems that may be there as if you want to be an artist. Like, okay, then the finance side potentially, because I mean, if you have to find a beat first of all, and then obviously having this, putting it together, getting a track together. I mean, you can do all these just on your platform, and you don't need anything else apart from a mic, I'm assuming, yeah, and a computer.
Right. Yeah, we encourage people that just use like a cheap USB mic is usually the best.
Yeah, and then also then there's the fear factor if you're not really, in a way, you can't really perform in front of people if you're shy in that way or introvert in that way. Like, you can just be behind the computer, put your avatar up, and just go for it, and then build your confidence slowly by that way. I think that's a good factor that's added. That, I guess, if you are going to rap and do rap battles or do any ciphers, you'll have to go to a place. And genuinely, would it? I don't know if there's any place you go online and you do ciphers anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, doing them in like Discord is super fun and stuff, doing them live that way, like we've done. But yeah, like as far as like a place where you can like tokenize it end to end is pretty much the only game in town right now. But yeah,
one-stop shop, baby. One-stop shop.
You're covering everything. So tell me a bit about, obviously, how the community reacted. I mean, how have the community reacted to people inside the crypto space and people outside? I mean, is it generally the people that are in Discord now are just people that are into crypto already? Because I'm interested to see how do projects like yourself, obviously the hip hop culture, the hip hop community is a massive community. How do you convert? How do you transfer these people that don't know anything about crypto to jump onto this?
Yeah, so thus far, like, we've been just trying to net like the crypto curious, throwing out a hook on Instagram, primarily just doing an ad for our Discord Cipher parties with kind of like this rap for crypto, like, sort of like messaging, and that's kind of piqued people's interest. Like, what's this all about? And then I get to tell them about the app, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I've been wanting to get in on this, and this is just such a win-win. Like, if it's something I'm passionate about. But yeah, it's just kind of been a process of just familiarizing people with the basic tools of a MetaMask, being the way that we interact with our Web3 application. A lot of Ethereum-based applications, that's the most prominent wallet that just kind of lives in your browser of your like Google Chrome, for instance. And so that's how we've just been trying to onboard people with that way a little bit better now. And just got to keep kind of holding people's hands a little bit.
We've definitely had rappers that had not been really, on the blockchain come over, like Garett had mentioned, from Instagram, come over and literally we've walked through setting up their wallet, getting on Cipher, basically introduced them to the NFT space and in crypto more deeply. And the reaction from the community has been so amazing. I mean, it's truly like heartwarming. It just like gives us fire to keep going because, for example, people that have come over and been new to crypto, they were basically like, this is my home. You guys, opened your arms, brought me in, helped teach me about this. And then it's so much damn fun. We have so much fun at these live ciphers. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from people, after an event that's like, man, I feel like I just got home from like a real event being with people because you get this connection, even though you're still not, face to face, you do develop this connection. And the cipher is kind of, we pass the mic around sometimes. We'll put on a long track and just go round robin. And you actually kind of develop relationships with people, how to have the cues to like pass the mic and stuff without that eye contact and that, body language. And we've also had people from the crypto community, like crypto artists, shout out to Space Painter. He has been in the crypto space for a while. He is a phenomenal artist doing, virtual cinematic whole landscapes with amazing graphics and music laid to that. Yeah. And he had never done any rapping, but he had wanted to. And he has an amazing track up that is his first rap ever, called the ETH Cookie rap. And it's just amazing. And so, we've had people like that are visual artists with a love of music that hadn't rapped before come over and just, basically really fall in love with it, enjoy their time and go through the process and make raps and put them on the marketplace. So it's really kind of a mix from all aspects, new people to crypto, well-known artists, people kind of in the middle. And so it's really exciting to have such positive feedback from the community, and really they just drive us to keep going and keep getting better.
What about the quality of obviously the people freestyling? Because obviously if you look back, even if you look at how it's portrayed in the films and whatnot, you got your 8 Mile, people are rapping. If it doesn't sound right, you get booed off the stage. Now, when you're doing these Sunday ciphers, and it could happen, is that the case, or is everyone really encouraging?
Everyone's pretty supportive, really. Yeah, we've got like a really cool vibe where like sometimes like we'll pick each other up and then like continue off with someone we were saying and riffing on it and stuff. So people are really kind of like cool and different in that respect. And like, yeah, mostly supportive. Like every now and then you get like a little bit of sparring, which is fun too. Like, but like, it hasn't really spun out of control, fortunately. Like we've all kept it pretty much on the rails, which is cool.
Okay.
And yeah, that allows people to come in and participate in a positive environment. I mean, you know, rap battles could get pretty nasty.
Yeah,
I mean, that's part of it. So it's not that we like discourage any kind of like, you know, going after each other on the freestyles and stuff. But there is just kind of a general community vibe of a lot of support, people being able to learn and polish their craft. And get better. We've seen people really, really improve over, you know, coming to the ciphers week after week and starting out kind of timid and maybe doing one here or there, to then just really kind of finding their own flow state, in very different styles, different languages. You know, we've had probably 5 or 6 different languages wrapped on these events. And so, yeah, I mean, it gets a little crazy. We do, sometimes we'll do these chat raps, basically, where you freestyle off what's in the chat and people drop some crazy gifts and that gets off the rails. I won't lie.
Now I can imagine, like, but I really like the sound of it, because obviously it's in the community, people are rapping within the Discord. I feel that especially when you see people develop and they get better. I mean, I only can imagine if I was in there and somebody was developing, you can see them get better and you thought, this guy's really got potential. And then you might get the filter like, I want to invest in this person. And if they create an NFT, I'd be happy to obviously buy their first NFT and pay for their gas fee, and hopefully in the future they could blow up to be anybody potentially in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the idea, man. It's like you're kind of betting on the artist in a way, and like getting a piece to that potential turnaround of that. But at the same time, it's just like a really cool way to support artists, and you get to own the visual album art that comes with it. And it's just the novelty of that packaging, to me, I think speaks to people. So we're seeing people pretty stoked on it. So we're just starting to get the word out, and yeah, really stoked to be on here today too, just chopping it up. This is great. I mean, and I love NFTs. Like Easy lives and breathes NFTs and metaverse. Like I definitely have a stash and like just have a ton of fun with it, because it's inherently like kind of like this social thing. Like and that's what we're finding more and more, is that like, you know, especially with like NFTs as like access and being able to unlock like certain unlockables or like access to secret Discord servers and stuff like a whale token does. Like that's just a really interesting use case. And so there's just so much potential to be explored still.
Yeah, and we've had community members come in and, you know, kind of get the ropes of NFTs somewhat through Cipher. Shout out to Louis C. Rhymes, Louis Baby. He came in through Cipher and is actually one of our brand ambassadors. And he has taken, you know, a deep dive into NFTs and the functionality and what you can really do, and started producing his own, you know, kind of higher, more mastered raps where he's doing NFTs, but he's also doing like airdrops if you get certain NFTs. Also, like owning a certain NFT would get you into a raffle contest for other of his merch and stuff. So it's really interesting to kind of also be able to shepherd people into the space and watch them grow and just flourish. You know, Kane Mayfield, another rapper that's fairly new to the space, that's making amazing NFTs, doing similar things, you know, doing the drops, gamifying it basically, and with some really great content, like really.
Okay, so have you guys thought about collaborating? You guys have been in the space for a while, haven't you? Like, you're not strangers to the space. I think you told me, is it 2 years? 2 years at the minimum?
2.5 easy. What, a few years in?
Yeah,
NFT.
I've been in about 3 years.
See, OGs, like literally. I mean, you're probably one of the few people that guys that I've met that have been in the space that long. So you've seen everything. I can imagine you've seen everything grow and change. I mean, how have things changed from where they were, say, 2 years ago to where they are now? I mean, has it been huge growth, and where do you see things moving in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it was cheaper for sure. I've seen this meme. Art Gnome put out of like a grandma with a walker and her son's behind her, and he's just she's just like, I remember when I could get a super rare for 0.1 ETH. It's like, sure you could, Grandma. Sure you could. You know,
that's
like,
amazing.
I used to collect a lot of like the higher end, like one of one super rares and stuff back in the day. And a lot of them are a lot spendier to get into. So that's just one thing that's changed is the price. But like, it rides in these circular waves, and like we obviously saw this spring, it blew up like big in the mainstream, and it's just funny how I guess what's the word for it? Just like how many, it's just so intangible and hard to articulate for a lot of people that there's so many people that still question it. You know, these are non-believable tokens. This is not, easy for people to grasp. But what was that, Easy?
Well, and I was just going to say, I've seen, crypto winters and DeFi summers, and now we're in the year of the NFT. I mean, I remember when gas was like 4 to 6 cents to send an NFT, and so there's changes in the background. There's a lot more. There's new chains coming out that I think will alleviate the pressure of gas and Ethereum and that bottleneck, and hopefully ETH2 will also help to that, and the second layer solutions like Matic Polygon, we're also eyeing that. And so there's a lot of differences. We kind of had such a flood, like a tidal wave at the beginning of the year, and Clubhouse blew up, and like some big A-listers came in, and some did some cool stuff, and some did some money grab tokens, and like, so it's very interesting to watch. As being like in the space and part of the community for a while, I would say towards the end of last year. In fact, I remember at the New Year's party in Token Smart, which was like a 20-hour long music festival. A couple of us were like, "Oh yeah, 2021 year of the NFT," but we thought it was at the end of the year when we were like things were going to get big and the mainstream would take notice. No, it happened right at the start. So we were not, like, as far as I know, everybody in the community that I'm in touch was not expecting that. We thought there was still a long kind of uptrend, and then it just boom. The floodgates open. So it's been a wild ride. And of course, it's kind of funny to see, there was all this excitement, and then it falls off a little and the market cools off, and people are like, oh, well, NFTs are dead. And it's like, well, that's just because you've been here for a month and you saw like this crazy peak, and then it slows down a little. So it comes in cycles, and it's not dead at all. It is the future, basically.
Yeah, I was looking at non-fungibles and like nonfungible.com, and I think CryptoPunks alone have done $14 million this week in sales. And it's just like, it's just gonzo what like just punks do alone. And they've done over $500 million, I think $500 million. Or no,
2.5, 2.4 in the second quarter.
Oh, NFTs, but CryptoPunks alone have done that, which is insane. But yeah, 2.5 billion the first half of the year, right? Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane. So it's rapidly growing, and things are slow. Well, they say things are slowed down, but I think June's been the best month of the for obviously sales in the year, hasn't it?
Oh, June? This June?
Yeah. I'm sure. Apparently, I'm sure it has.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like people could say it's slowed down with looking from the outside because they're not hearing as many things on Saturday Night Live or wherever they consume their media, their mass media from. But if you're in the space, like, it is heating up day by day. There's so many crazy projects. I mean, even if you just looked at the generative projects, the generative NFTs, it's like there's a new one with a whole community behind it every day. And if you happen to sleep, you miss some. Like, it's crazy. It's building very steadily. You know, there will be peaks and swings when, you know, Christie's does a big auction or something and everybody's like, oh, NFTs are back. And you're like, we didn't go anywhere. We've been working hard.
What kind of effect as the hip hop community, like I'm talking about like artists like Jay-Z entering the space, you got Nas rapping about crypto, investing in crypto, or like Coinbase, you've got different rappers talking about the crypto space. You obviously had your Nipsey Hussle, who was always a big ambassador talking about crypto. When they're entering the space, do you see like a rush of people coming towards what you're doing? I mean, is that good for you?
I think it is like a net good. I mean, the more awareness that happens in the hip hop community, because I think for a long time people like knew about Bitcoin, they figured they want Bitcoin, they didn't know how to get it. Well, like now there are more avenues to doing that, and if hip hop is like that gateway, like I think that's enough to get people to actually like take action. You know, because how many times did you hear about Bitcoin before you took action? You know, it actually takes something beyond just money, maybe something that's also about passion to get people to take action. So I'm hoping that continues to kind of have that effect as we get more on the mainstream like radar and stuff, and really flesh out the launch here. I just think like Jay-Z rocking a crypto punk on his Twitter profile was kind of cool. You know, I tweeted at him, I'm like, hey, nice punk, you know. But
nice.
and
we've got other, you know, you've got people like MC Hammer kind of taking the slow roll around in Clubhouse a lot. I really appreciate that. I think it's great when, you know, those bigger A-list artists come in and they decide to, you know, participate in the community and absorb kind of what's been done. You know, don't just reinvent the wheel and shoot yourself 100%. In the foot. Come hang out, absorb, see what people are doing, see what people want, see what's possible, because almost anything is possible, right? So I like to see, you know, the A-listers taking a good approach and having some value and utility in their tokens, not just, you know, a quick NFT drop or some kind of social token that doesn't really have much value or utility to it. So, you know, I mean, we've had a number of people, Snoop Dogg dropped a couple NFTs. You know, Eminem did some over on Nifty Gateway. So there's interest, and I think there's a lot more interest behind the scenes, even with labels and things like that's going on, that is not in the public eye. You kind of have to, you know, be deeper in the community to hear about that. It's happening. So then, you know, another could be 2 months, could be 4, could be 6 months. There's going to be a giant flood where like some big labels are like, okay, we're dropping NFTs of our artists, or, you know, a big artist that is, you know, owns their own material comes in and does something really, really cool with it. So, you know, it's coming.
Do you feel that these guys have got a role to play in regards to not damaging the space? Because if, like you talked about, Garett, is the money grab, which a lot of these celebrities have come and done, the money grab may leave a bit of taste in a few people's mouths based on the way they approach NFTs, and they may think, well, it's just an image, and and it's not worth what it was. What I bought it for 100,000. It's only worth 10,000 or $100 in the next 5 years. I mean, they have a role to play because they have so much influence and they've got a big audience. When they step in, like MC Hammer, like you said, that's perfect. Take time, meet the people, understand what the people want, understand the community, and then make your move. But these people just coming in with their audience, capitalizing off it, and then leaving the space. Do you think how do you think they're going to get that balance?
It's definitely tough because, and just real quick, and then I'll pass it on to you, Garett. It can really turn someone off. So in this example where you have an artist that's coming to the space, they're new and they want to bring some of their fan base. Well, if you don't educate a little bit your fan base, or you don't give them something that is really cool or useful, or is going to drop them tokens later, you know, something interesting that's utilizing the full value of this technology, this new packaging and relationship with your fans, then I think it can turn people off for a long time. Like if you had a really bad experience coming into the NFT space, you're going to write that off. So there's definitely a responsibility there for those larger artists, and we in the community have a responsibility as well to try and communicate that the best we can. If we have a connection to a large artist, you know, to try and get them that nugget of information to be able to come in and absorb and make some relationships and find out what can be done before you just drop your NFT. It's still early days. You're not too late. I feel like some people also think they missed the boat, so they're rushing. It's not the case at all. There's plenty of room for growth here. It's kind of just the beginning. 100%. Go ahead, Garrett.
Yeah, I'm totally with that. Like, yeah, just take some time to listen to people in the scene and just try and get a little bit immersed, you know, before, just pushing something half baked out the door. Like sometimes you see with some artists, like some celebrities rather, you know, and so like, it's just, there is so much possibility with like what's being done with like programmable art, like async art and stuff, and unlockables and things that can create that two-way dialogue with the community. And I think that's what's important, is like, it is kind of this like multifaceted media that it's good that like, I think the NFT community at large is trying to like challenge them to come out with something really dope, especially if they have the resources, you know, to kind of invest in the making and crafting of this story, which is essentially what it is. This is its narrative and its execution, and it has this end visual product that we can kind of hold and hoard and collect and maybe resell. So like, that's just the whole kind of life cycle of it. And it's just, I think you gotta spend some time ideating and talking to people to get there though, you know?
100.
Yeah, you touched on story there, and I think that's huge, because there's also a lot of overlap between the hip hop culture and that storytelling aspect. And you can go so deep with that with NFTs. And I think that a lot of even just the, let's say, visual artists that are very successful, they're sharing their story as part of their art. And so, you know, it's huge. So being able to, you know, really embrace that is a real positive for anyone coming into the space, new or well-known.
Yeah, I mean, that is what you're saying is, I would say, is common sense if you're trying to sell something. But I feel like everyone's got this whole look on, when they look on NFTs, they feel like, oh, there's more people are buying things for thousands or millions of dollars. I'm just going to create a piece of art and hopefully it gets sold. Whereas people, I think NFTs are built on community and people buy into people. They've always have.
Yes.
So it's important as a creator, whatever you're doing in the space, share your story, let people know why you're creating that. I mean, I spoke to, I don't know if you ever, you know, Krista Kim, she created the first digital house. She sold for $500,000.
Oh yeah. Super
so
cool.
She was talking about when she had the interest, she rang the buyers and she spoke to them about what it was about, what it meant to her, and so on. And like, people don't see that. So I think these are the things that guys that you were talking about and pointing out. I think these are important factors to help people be successful in this space, and it isn't going to happen overnight. It might happen, you know, but I just don't think it's going to happen overnight, because it takes time. And like you said, it's still early, isn't it? So like I just wanted to highlight that side of it, telling the story, like just like you said, Garrett. Like, I think it's so important, but it's not really talked about as such.
Yeah. And the what you mentioned there about, you know, not expecting that overnight success, that's really important, because a lot of people, you know, you see maybe some people drop an NFT and maybe they're talking about a Clubhouse or something, and it sells right away for, you know, a couple $1,000 or something, and someone else with as much talent or whatever drops one and it doesn't sell right away, and they get very discouraged. And so you know, just a message to everybody, like, it takes time. You know, I make NFTs. I very rarely sell my art NFTs, but it's not just about the sales. It's about sharing something that I'm passionate about. And every once in a while, someone, you know, reaches out to me and says they like my work, or they pick something up, and, you know, it's really meaningful. But don't get too discouraged if you make a few things and they don't sell. You do have to let people know there's a lot of NFTs out there. So you got to be tweeting about it. You got to be talking about it in the Discord communities where, you know, you've made some connections, or if you haven't, that's where you need to head. You need to head into the communities. It's all kind of about building that and bringing your tribe and finding your tribe here in the crypto space. And, you know, that can lead to more success than just kind of like dropping an NFT and, you know, making one tweet or Insta post about it and being like, well, why didn't it sell?
Yeah. I mean, on the flip side, I know that you guys are collectors. I've seen, obviously, I know, Garrett, as you showed me your collection, massive, like you collect a load of pieces of art and you're very involved. So as a collector, from a collector's perspective, what did you look for from an art? Why do you buy pieces of art, or whatever NFTs you've brought? What's the main attraction for you?
Yeah. I guess you know, Super Rare was the first one that captured my attention, and it was really just back then. It was something that grabbed me, you know, and that I liked. And then, you know, as some of the pieces started to like resell, I was like, oh, maybe I'll kind of shop by artists a little bit and look in the sales rankings and stuff on Super Rare and figure out, okay, you know, these guys resell a lot and they got a reasonable like acquisition price, average price and stuff. So, I mean, I did get calculating that way, but like a lot of it was just like fun too, just getting to know the artists in the process. And then I fell in love with Pixel Chain, was this other project that I just love pixel art. And I just bought really dope looking pixel art. Some of which I have like In a Lot of Money piece, two pieces of his, and like he's kind of a bigger name artist, and an MLTIBY, I think is his acronym. I forget sometimes. But like, yeah, so like there's some big name artists in there too, but like I was just really buying stuff that I liked in that sense. But then outside of art, like I looked at digital real estate parcels, you know, like the Sandbox and crypto voxels as digital real estate. So I was like buying those, but also building cool experiences on them and taking that medium pretty far with what we've done with like our crypto voxels parcel. And for Cipher, the Cipher Lounge has like a Twitch live stream up on the stage. You can actually pipe in like performances in world and consume content in a rich, immersive way. So we've got a pretty cool setup there with like, you know, the metaverse converging with blockchain. And so that to me was really compelling. But yeah, there's just tons of different projects. It's tough to keep up with, but those are the big ones that I kind of got involved with though.
What about
and
you?
Like I do have a large collection. I mean, I've been collecting NFTs for, you know, over 2 years. And I have quite a pretty decent collection of audio NFTs because I got in very early. In fact, Connie Digital's holding was my first audio NFT, which was one of the very first audio NFTs. But first rule, I gotta love the work. Like if I'm scrolling through something looking for like, you know, just scrolling open to your Rarible, like something grabs my eye and I'm like, oh my, that connects to me, the nostalgia, or just like, oh, that's hot, or it's cute, or whatever it is, you know, I'm like, oh, that I connect to. So, you know, every once in a while, you know, if it's really affordable, I'll just grab something. But generally I'll like be like, oh, I like that work. I'm going to check out the artist. I'm going to look at what other works they're on. You know, what platforms are they minting on? Maybe I could score something on Rarible a little cheaper than on, you know, another platform. Or so I'll kind of look around, check out what work they have, maybe take a peep at their socials and give them a follow. Then I would look for, you know, some value adds, some extras, some unlockable content. What they got going on with their community. If they have a social token too, maybe look a little bit at, you know, their resale value. Maybe you know, something that I always tell people, and I really do myself, but that's just because I don't have mountains of ETH, is like, if you find something you really think is amazing, get two, because you can keep one and maybe resell one later. But I do a lot of different types of media, like Garrett mentioned, you know, metaverse. So I have a little bit of metaverse lands, a lot of music, you know, some cool VR stuff and AR stuff, and a lot of pets and wearables, like the whole crypto voxels and Decentraland, these metaverses, where we do have events sometimes, and there's amazing stuff going on pretty much all the time these days, which is also very new, because it used to be, you know, one event or two events a week, and now it's every day there's something going on in these metaverses. But the wearables, I have a lot of wearables because they're really fun. And you used to be able to pick them up super cheap, like pets and different animals and hats and glasses. And, you know, a friend of mine made my own likeness into my head in crypto voxels. And this was like, you know, almost a couple of years ago. That got me deeper into crypto voxels because, hey, I had my own head on my avatar. Like, so that is also another huge opportunity for people. The wearables market, fashion, virtual fashion, like tattoos or makeup skins and all that. You've got people from L'Oreal and like big companies looking at this stuff, wanting to get into this space. So, you know, there's a lot of great wearable makers out there that have been in it for a while and have really cool stuff. There's people coming, you know, new to the space. Decentraland just kind of opened up their wearable, maker and market. Over there, you do have to, I think, have some funds, some mana to be able to list those. Whereas in crypto voxels, it's a little more just wide open. Anybody can design something in like magic voxels and basically, I think, pay the gas to mint it, and then you could list those on the market or give them away, whatever you want. But that's another really fun area that just you can personalize your avatar. You can be anything in the metaverse, color, creed, sexual orientation, all that's out the window. So that's one of the great things about this inclusive space where you can just be you and meet other people that have similar interests and have fun and rap with them or cruise around to art galleries and concerts. Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, I think the best example a lot of people use is that film Ready Player One is how they that's how they see the future being, is you can be anything, like you can be creatures or everything, and it's already, we've already played that role to a certain extent. If you're into gaming, you've used to be an avatar as your creature, whatever the character is, or another person, and I remember I played GTA. And I was very invested in my character. I was going to the gym. I was changing clothes when I had a new when I completed a mission. I got a bit of money. When I got some new clothes, and this was the early stages of what's about to happen. That we spend hours and hours in games, but now you're going to be able to monetize, especially
now you can own that.
Yeah.
So let's say, gaming's another huge part of the blockchain community. And in the early days, I thought gaming was going to be the massive onboard ramp, and I think it's taken longer to develop the games and maybe cross game compatibility. So if I work really hard and I earn a sword in one game, I couldn't be able to possibly use that in another game, and it could even give me different powers in that game. I could sell that, I could gift that, I could rent that out. I could probably put it in a DeFi pool where somebody else rents it out and I get some tokens back for it. So all sorts of amazing stuff happening in gaming. I mean, think if you could have owned all your clothes that you had worked so hard to, do missions and buy, or from a kid, if I had, every piece of like Zelda and Mario, whatever I had saleable, that's like, college fund for my kids or whatever, so it's pretty amazing. Like it's hitting every aspect of life, really, from like fashion, your identity in these spaces, and then gaming and music and art and literature and dance. I just bought my first dance NFT like a week ago.
Crazy.
So yeah, I imagine there'll be more like theatrical type NFTs, comedy skits, you name it, it will come to the NFT space.
So do you see Cipher in the future? I mean, I don't know if you guys are already doing this when you mentioned that you're doing things in the metaverse, is that, okay, you have your avatar, you go into, you meet up at the spot and the beat comes on and you do your freestyle as your avatar, and then it's created into an NFT, and then that you have, and then somebody might say, okay, I love that freestyle in the crowd and I want to buy that NFT straight away. Or it might be a DJ who's a DJ in the metaverse, because I want that track now because I'm playing out later on and I want to be able to play that track. So
that'd be so epic to stitch that all together. Yes, one day, man. I'm telling you,
I think we'll get there. Yeah, because we do have, we do events sometimes in the metaverse where we go in with our avatars and we basically stream the Discord because we can use the bot to play the beats and people can open their mics and there's no real lag time. We just stream that basically into, the metaverse parcels. But we've got, Gat and Fishbrain and Space Painter and a few others that are pretty involved in Somnium Space, which is a phenomenal metaverse. And so being able to go in there, and let's say you were wearing an actual, you could go in on just, a browser. But if you were wearing your goggles, if you had a virtual reality set on, you would be able to basically, really read that, because that's one of the hard parts about it in crypto voxels. You kind of got to wrap up your flow, or I'm passing it off, or shout somebody out to really give that cue. But if we were in the metaverse and we were watching each other's body language, because you have the full headgear on, you could literally be like looking at someone and kind of like gesture to them, and they could then grab the mic. So the ability of getting there, we're fairly close. I think being able to have tracks be like minted basically live while in the metaverse and go up for purchase, that would be pretty awesome. And I don't see why that wouldn't happen. It'll take us a little time, but you know, all the tech should be there to be able to do that.
Yeah. And you want to touch on anything, Garrett, in regards to that?
Yeah, I mean, even taking baby steps with it, like right now, like I want to start figuring out a way to like embed our ciphers directly. I mean, we could do just an OpenSea link directly to minted ciphers into the metaverse, onto our record crates in there, and have those purchasable in world. So that's kind of rad. So just starting to connect the dots little by little, and I think it's going to get there though over time, because there's so many smart people with, you know, backing building in this space. Like it's kind of bound to come together. You
mentioned record covers. It doesn't even have to, like, I'm like, my mind's flowing now. Like it doesn't even have to be like the record crate. It could be attached to your digital wear. And you know, and so because you buy this jacket and you get my track, you know what I mean? Like
that could be cool.
That is a dope idea. We've actually we've talked about like Cipher wearables, and we actually did a Crypto Voxels beat hunt a few weeks back, where you had to go into the parcel, you had to find this image of this cassette tape that said Cipher OG on it. You'd have to click that, and then you'd get a form to fill out, and you'd get a link to a track. So we had like 10 people all rap over that track. And then there was rewards for the best rap, but actually they were all so good. We had to split the rewards between like everybody that rapped. They were so fire, dude. So we've done stuff like that. And then the second part of that was to be able to tweet out a video of you either freestyling over the track, or it could be breakdancing, or I don't know, puppet show, or it could have been anything over that track. And then you got entered into a contest to win that first Cipher mixtape NFT. So, you know, we've talked about wearables and other things. I think it would be really cool if there was a way to attach the NFT to like the wearable you're literally wearing. And so if someone clicks on that, they could see like, okay, he's wearing this, you know, Cipher shirt or hat or whatever it is, you know, holding the microphone that's a wearable, and you click on that microphone and you get the wearable microphone to walk around with, and you get the track. Like that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, man. Like it's that, and this is, like I said, this is a conversation between us three, just literally just on the spot, and this is where we're at. Like, this is why it's so exciting, the space, because we know that anything we're saying now is actually possible, and that's. I mean, there's no restrictions. It's just wait. I mean, I'm sure that could be done to a certain extent, even if it's classed as unlockable attached to the wearable. I mean, we could flip it around, and you could do it on the physical item. So if you integrate augmented reality to the physical T-shirt, you still could attach that NFT, that music NFT.
Totally. You could have a physical. You could have the digi-physical. So you get a real world like hoodie. You get the hoodie in the metaverse, and you also get the track. Like, and this is the magic of this space, is that we get to just collaborate and riff off each other, and like so much can be done that almost any of these ideas, it just takes a little tweak here or there, or, you know, a couple links tying it up, and like boom, that stuff can be done. I'm excited. I mean, just to wrap it up, guys, what is your favorite project? Let's put it out there. What's the favorite NFT project at the moment that's out there, and why? And I know there's loads, but I mean, it's not favoritism. Just literally first one that comes to your head.
I just love my CryptoPunks. I'm just so
okay.
OG.
All right,
terrible.
OG.
Because it's just so quintessentially like, so like they're smoking cigs. They're just like all like in the same. They're algorithmically generated, and like I love pixel art, so I just got to go back to the old stalwart. But easy pays more attention to what's going on nowadays.
Have you checked out, based on the CryptoPunks you said, have you checked out Rasta Punks?
I haven't seen that particular one.
So there's Rasta Punks. So I connected with that guy, the founder, the other day. He's from Brazil. He's been in the reggae industry for 20 years, connected to artists all around the Caribbean and whatnot. And what he's doing there is he's trying to help the artists that obviously didn't make the money at the time, to connect them artists to the actual NFTs, and you can get like potentially exclusive things with that artist. So he's doing some really cool things. So you definitely should check out that.
Nice.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, I unfortunately I didn't get a punk. One of the tricky things about this space and projects like punks and others as well, sometimes you're just like, you've got a little bit of ETH. And basically I was always just at that point where like, oh, a few times I could afford a punk, but it was like all my ETH. So it was like, do I spend all my ETH on a punk, or do I keep some and I pick up a little this here and I pick up a little that thing there? So, it's challenging. Favorite project is hard, but I'll go with actually my little profile pickup there while I'm not on video is an Avastar.
Okay.
And Avastars is a pretty awesome project. It's also generative art. Different artists have made different pieces of the Avastar, and then basically those are generated, and you scroll through them as they're being randomly generated, and you find one you like, and there's different rarity traits and whatnot. Okay. And then as actually the kind of season 5 is about to wind up when they sell out pretty soon, and then there's going to be a way to basically take your different Avastars that you have and take traits from different ones and build a replicant that will be able to be like a 3D avatar, in worlds in the future. So really cool project. It's pretty OG. I've been with them since the early days, and it's just another project that I really enjoy.
Is there any utility to it? Any use cases when you do anything?
They're pretty cool. Avastars is pretty sweet because like they actually ascribe you commercial rights to use that Avastar too. So like, excuse me, our brand ambassador Louis C. Rhymes was toying with like putting his on like merch and stuff like that at one point, and like you could do cool stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, if they're bringing them into the metaverse too with the replicants, that's kind of crazy that you can use it as like a wearable almost. You're saying? Yeah,
or as like an avatar. So
as the avatar itself.
Yeah, so you could like basically build this replicant, and it's going to be a 3D version, while the original Avastars are a 2D. So they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and basically you get for each Avastar you buy, you get like this token that is going to let you make a replicant. And then once you've used that trait, it's basically burned. You won't be able to like use it again on another replicant. Okay. But yeah, very active community. There's some fun giveaways. Like every week they do some giveaways where you just have to write a story about like either maybe an Avastar that they show or one of your favorites. Yeah, really, really, really good project. So if you haven't, you check that.
Okay, that's cool. Like a lot of these, like that project, the project you talked about, CryptoPunks and Avastar, that they're not actually connected to anything in the real world. They're just literally made out of nothing. That's a creation, which I really find interesting. How people create communities out of nothing to a certain extent. I mean, I'm interested. What do you gain from it? Like as a collector, what do you gain from it? I mean, I could probably understand what you gain from a CryptoPunk because it was probably one of the first ones, and not a lot of people have got it. It's high valued. Is it like having a Rolex? Like,
yeah, it's exactly it. It's like I flex my CryptoPunk on my Twitter, and it's my Rolly basically. Yeah, basically. But it's also like I've got like a Meebit for free too. That's like the second like highest crypto project, like bi-weekly volume.
All right.
And that is also by Larva Labs, and they basically gave any CryptoPunk holder the right to claim a Meebit for free. And like I ended up selling mine pretty early on, but I was like still like a big sale for just having a punk. Like you kind of get access to other things sometimes, which is kind of crazy. But like that's the essence of like all sorts of NFTs that have unlockable content sometimes after the fact. But yeah, it's just very OG to me, and I just love pixel art. It all works together for me. But the eye patch on mine too really just sets it off. So
what about you, Ezin? What about you? What really draws you? What is it that makes you collect something that doesn't, because it never existed before? It didn't mean what connects you to it?
Oh man, well, sometimes just the visual look of something, you can have a connection to it, pulls out some sort of emotion or memory, whether that's like I mentioned, I collect a lot of audio NFTs, like both to support the artist, which oftentimes I may know through our community, but also like just absolutely dope tracks. So if it's something that I just like and connect with, sometimes that's enough to buy it. Sometimes you're right, like so these things are just created. It's like almost like creative value just from imagination. So sometimes you'll see something cool, but like, oh, well, there's no really like, it's kind of cool, but what are they going to do with it? So I do look for like more more value, more interactivity? Why, what is this bringing me in for, something else down the line? Like, whether that could be, concerts or other fun events or gaming or whatever it is. So I do look for that kind of extra utility often. And then sometimes it's just about supporting an amazing artist. So it's hard to kind of quantify, why I will support a certain project. Sometimes it's just an emotional connection. And then sometimes it might be like, oh, this is like really well thought out. Every once in a while I'll do, kind of a speculative buy on a couple NFTs and see if maybe I can, sell them down the line for a little bit extra and then buy some more NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I wanted to ask you that because I feel that that's a question that a lot of people, not in the space, may ask, like, why, what the hell are you buying that for? I mean, it's good to hear from somebody that has been in the space for a good while, has obviously invested in NFTs, and what is it they're gaining from it? What's the reason behind they're buying it? Because I really feel that a community that's really taken the project, which is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I feel that community, they're bringing it so much into the real world. They're doing music with it. I've seen it on a billboard the other day. On an Instagram post, they're doing merch now. Like, they're really taking it into the real world, and that's why I feel that when you have a NFT collectible and the people collecting it are doing the work, you're not even advertising it yourself. Like, they're doing, and if somebody does something amazing with it, as I say, if you're a CryptoPunk collector, you do something amazing with your CryptoPunk, everything goes up in value. The whole collection does.
That's gonzo.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, if it could penetrate the like mainstream psyche and stuff, that could be really epic. I've definitely dreamt of that with crypto punks and stuff, like Punks TV or something like that. Like literally like invite only like talk show with just punks or something. Who knows? But yeah, it's gonzo. Like,
it's a powerful medium.
Yeah, seeing the community be the foot soldiers like that though.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's what I really think is crazy. And I think it's amazing. So I'm passionate. I'm excited to see I'm sure there's going to be some amazing things that are going to happen still this year and onto the coming years, and especially when the metaverse gets involved and people start getting involved with the metaverse and augmented reality and whatnot. I'm just excited to see what's to come. But
too.
Thank you guys for your time. Like, I think it's been amazing. I just feel like it's been just a general conversation, just talking about NFTs. It's always refreshing to speak to people, especially guys that have been in the space and actually contributing and doing amazing things. If somebody wants to get onto Cipher, where's the best place to contact you guys, or wants to get in contact with you guys in the future? Where can I get in contact with you?
Yeah, if you guys just go to our website, it's cipher.media, and it's Cipher with an I. .media instead of .com, and that just has all our social links down at the bottom. We're in Discord a lot, definitely get in there and holler at us, and definitely follow on Twitter. Instagram's popping too, so yeah, just lots of love in there, and it's fun community. So yeah, we'd love to have people come scope us out.
Absolutely. Yeah, this has been really a huge pleasure. Thanks so much for having us on. And yeah, if people want to find us and find out more, cipher.media, CIPHER.media. We have a Twitter, we have an Insta, we have a YouTube. My Twitter, Ezin Crypto, is always open for DM. So, if you want to hit me up and ask me, about Cipher or help get kind of onboarded into the crypto space and whatnot, I'm always taking DMs from people and helping out. And we'd love to have the listeners here come and join in on a Cipher, and just come on over to the Discord, hang out at one of our Ciphers. And if you want to jump on the mic, we really encourage that. Basically drop, little crypto tips to everybody that gets on and flows. And like I said, the Sunday Ciphers, we got the 0.1 ETH reward, which is pretty nice for just coming on and spitting some rhymes.
Yeah, man. This is what it's about, man. Like, guys, please, obviously join the Discord, get in contact with these guys, get involved in the project, because they're doing amazing things. If you're into the hip hop space, even if you're not into hip hop and you just want to see what's going on, I'm sure everyone's welcome to join the Discord just to be a part of the experience, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's super fun. So, and this has been really fun, man. I really appreciate you having us on, and just great questions, and it's fun chopping it up. So let's kick it again sometime, man. Yeah,
man, 100%. We'll stay connected. We'll definitely have to do a part 2 towards the end of the year or the start of next year to see how much progress you guys are gonna see. Now, Easy's put yourself back on. Yeah, so we got a second feature for Easy. If you don't get to see him that often, he's here, man. So yeah, man, thank you guys. Everyone stay listening and stay blessed. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode, because I definitely did. I'm all about hip hop, man. So anything in the space and hip hop, I'm a fan of. But guys, I am behind on episodes. I'm not gonna lie. I've filmed so many, I've recorded so many episodes, and I need to get them out before they become relevant, because I've had some great guests on. So what I'm going to be doing through November, I'm going to be dropping at least 3 episodes a week for you guys to listen to, so I can catch up, because I'm working and working. Believe me, I'm working and connecting with different people and having some great guests, but also got to stay on top of it. So hold my hand up, and I'll be getting the episodes out. So everybody, if you're enjoying the podcast, if you're listening on Spotify, or Apple or Google, or you're watching on YouTube, guys, please share, like, get it out there to different individuals. The space is growing. It's got a lot of attention, and quite honestly, I think this is the #1 podcast out there. So let's help build this community and get everything out there.